Welcome to Build Your Video Conferencing Skills for home visitors and everyone else. I'm Larry Edelman, and when I first started working on this video with my friend and ace illustrator Sam Bartlett, it was focused only on how to best use video conferencing to deliver home visits. But the longer we worked on it, we realized it applies to much more than home visits. The tips we'll review also apply to meetings, coaching sessions, parent-to-parent support groups, and really just about anything else. Video conferencing will continue to be an essential part of our lives and how we communicate, so we ought to learn to use it effectively. And let's face it, each of us could stand to get better at certain aspects of it. The tips are organized by 3 categories: the technical stuff, your environment, and interactions. They're listed on the self-assessment checklist that goes along with this video. Here's what we hope you'll do. Download the checklist and keep it handy, and as you watch the video, pause it as needed and use the checklist to assess what you think you're doing well and what you might want to work on. After you watch the video and complete the checklist, have a practice video conference with a friend, a colleague, or a family member and start adjusting the things that you want to work on. Let's begin by making sure we're all on the same page with the technical stuff. Use a computer. You can use a smartphone or a tablet to video conference, but for the best results and to be able to use all of the features of your video app, use a laptop or desktop computer. Of course, during home visits, families should use whatever device is available and which they prefer, but when you can, use a computer. You'll have more control and be able to do more. Use the right video app. There are a lot of good choices for video conferencing platforms, but they're not all alike. Use the one that has the features and settings that you need. And when working with families, never use public-facing video platforms such as Facebook Live, Twitch, or TikTok. Maximize your bandwidth. If you can, use an Ethernet connection. It's usually more dependable and faster than Wi-Fi. If you like to conference a distance from your internet gateway, think about buying a long Ethernet cable. It's a good investment. But if you can't use Ethernet, Wi-Fi can work just fine, but it helps to set up as close as you can to your router. And if you can't get close enough for a fast connection, consider moving your router closer to where you're likely to conference. And remember that many internet providers recommend that you restart your equipment from time to time to improve performance and speed. Turn off other applications. The only apps you should have open are the ones you need during the video call. Close down apps running in the background, including your email and browsers. Not only will this help your computer devote its resources to the call, it will help you avoid the temptation to multitask. And while you're at it, maybe silence your phone. Produce good enough audio. You don't need to produce pristine vocals, but you want to be heard and you want your voice to sound pleasing. If your device's built-in microphone is good enough, fine, use it. But if it isn't, consider using either high-quality earbuds with a built-in microphone, an external USB mic, or a combination microphone speaker designed to eliminate echoing. And make sure you can hear. Again, your device's built-in speakers might work just fine, but if not, use external speakers that sound better and louder. If you do use external speakers, make sure they don't cause feedback. Some people like using earbuds or a headset, but maybe avoid those huge honkin' headphones. Produce good enough video. Most of the time, our webcams work just fine, but sometimes it's best to use an external webcam. For instance, if your built-in camera produces a blurry image, if you need flexibility in where you position it, or if you need a wide-angle lens. And the last technical tip is, get ready before the call. Make sure all your technology and adjustments are made before the video call begins. Now let's talk about your environment. The first environmental tip is protect others' privacy. If you can, participate from a room with a closed door. Maybe wear earbuds, and don't say personally identifiable information out loud when in common areas. Let there be light. Rarely is a room's natural lighting just right for video conferencing. You're likely to have to make an adjustment or two. Adjust the room's lighting so your face isn't darkened in shadows. At the same time, make sure you aren't overexposed. You might want to use lamps off to the sides or maybe an overhead light. If you use natural lighting from a window, remember that natural lighting isn't always effective at every time of the day or during every kind of weather. And always try to avoid having bright lamps or sunlit windows in back of you. Minimize unwanted noise. We want people on the other end to hear what we have to say. Try to join calls from a room with a closed door and try to stay away from nearby noisy areas. Try to arrange your environment so you're eye to eye. Adjust your device and seating so you're about eye level with your webcam. You might need to raise your laptop on books. Avoid being partially off screen or presenting a strangely skewed perspective in which you're looking up or down. And if your face is filling the screen, maybe back up a bit. The last environmental tip is what's in back. There's no hard and fast rule about what should be in the background. Some people are fine with whatever, and others like to be more creative or decorative. Just make sure your background is something that you want to share and hopefully isn't distracting or offensive. Even though we're communicating through video rather than in person, our relationships still matter. So let's look at how our interactions can support effective relationships. The first tip is be yourself. You don't need to act differently than you would in person. You don't need to speak in an overly formal manner or act like a newscaster. And you don't need to be nervous. You just need to connect authentically. Relax. We're just people talking together. It really helps to maintain eye contact. If you can, position the video apps window just below your webcam. When you look at the images on your display instead of your camera, it might appear to others like you're looking down or you're not fully engaged. When speaking, try to look directly into your camera, not at the images of the people you're talking with, and definitely not at your own image. Alternate your gaze between the camera and the faces of others so they can enjoy you talking right to them and you can enjoy their nonverbal feedback. Speaking of nonverbal communication, pay attention to it. Being perfectly still with a blank expression might make folks worry about what you're thinking. Use eye gaze, nods, facial expressions, and maybe even an affirming gesture to let others know you're listening and engaged. Be careful about moving in a way that may be confusing without enough context. Something that would have made sense if you were all in the same room might not make sense in a video chat. And be sure to pay attention to others' nonverbal communication. Just like face-to-face interactions, conversations during video chats might have strong emotions. Be sensitive and respond to visual cues. And we need to take turns. It's best to speak one at a time. When we're in person, we have more signals telling us when it's our turn to talk. On a video call, maybe wait just a bit longer between turns. And our last tip about interactions, do not multitask. Focus on the moment and who you're with. Be present. If you can, silence your phone and please close your email app. So that's it. We hope this was fun and we hope it was useful. Now, go have a practice video conference and adjust the things that you want to work on.